Stream's back on. Hey guys, megamatt here. Basically, yeah, why we started a new stream is because frickin' Sony crashed. So, yeah, hopefully the stream stays up. If it keeps happening though, guys, unfortunately, we're gonna have to move the stream to tomorrow because I'm not gonna be streaming under like circumstances like this. I don't want to deliver a bad stream to you guys. So yeah, we'll let it sit for another minute. If it screws up again, then we'll just push it to tomorrow. But it's looking like it's working now, so yeah, we'll carry on with our scheduled normal programming. Okay, so Fear Season 6, Episode 9. So what did I think of this? Okay, well, after the absolute shitfest that was 608, the audacity of that episode to even exist, you guys remember my rant, so I won't really go too far into that, but I'll just say, this episode, man, oh man, what an improvement, what a frickin' step up. It feels like a proper Fear the Walking Dead episode, and honestly, I'm just like, I'm so happy that frickin' Fear did not continue down that decline that we saw in 608, because when 608 had first aired, I was super nervous that Fear was going to just continue down at this rapid decline, and then I was like, yeah, Fear's screwed, might as well cancel the show. I was going off in that stream. But then I see this episode, and I'm like, wow, okay, never mind. It was just one bad episode, but like, it's actually like, it's back to being good again, guys, and like, just keep in mind, I'm going to be discussing spoilers, so 5 seconds, I'm going to start talking spoilers. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so, yeah, they killed off Virginia in this episode, guys, and what a way that death was done. I was like, oh man, that scene gave me chills, and you had like the music, too, from 601 at the end. Oh man, it was so good, and it fixes June's character in a way. Like, you have June who, like, I'm just gonna say, I never liked June up until this episode. I thought she was annoying. She was just kind of there, and she was just didn't do much, man. She didn't do too much. And then this episode happens, and I'm like, oh, okay, wow. This character's actually doing stuff now, and not like minor things. This character just killed off, like, in my opinion, the main villain is 6A, and from 5B as well. So I'm like, okay, wow, like, that's an impressive scene. And the scene where Morgan is about to execute Virginia, and you see him having like these PTSD flashbacks, and you have like a bunch of people outside the dam that are kind of just waiting for it to happen. That scene was bone chilling, because it's like, it's almost like a medieval type execution where you have like all these people, all these spectators that want blood, and then you have like the guy with the axe, like, who's waiting to do it. I was talking about this with Dan and Kate a few days ago, and it actually reminds me of Ned Stark's death from Game of Thrones. I was like, this actually is very similar in a way, except Ginny got off lucky, and in that scenario, anyway. But that's what that death reminded me of, and yeah, I thought it was really well done. It was really cool. Another scene that I really frickin' liked from this episode was like the beginning part where you have Lawton and you have the lineup, and then you have Morgan who shows up, and he like basically calls her out on all of her lies, exposes her to the entirety of the group, and everyone betrays her. Like Hill is the only one that's even loyal to her anymore, and all the Pioneers just turn on her, and they team up with Strand, where like Strand's been building up his own secret army, and he like had them betray Ginny. It was frick. That was such a good plot twist in my opinion, because like I did not see that coming at all. Me personally, I thought Strand was well, at the time I thought he was fully brainwashed by Virginia, and that he would like just be one of the Pioneer members, but no, he actually was manipulating the whole situation, as he does. Like, this is honestly classic Strand from the original Fear, because this is the stuff he always did. And I'm honestly happy to see his character kind of like back to the way he used to be. So yeah, Strand in this episode, fantastic. I actually really liked what they did with him this episode. I will say there's one thing this episode though that I didn't care for, and it's the Ginny being Dakota's mom twist. I thought it was kind of forced, and it just doesn't make any sense in my opinion. Like, and I feel like it was just written into this like episode, like, oh hey, we need something like something to make Ginny's death kind of be emotional. Oh, we'll make her Dakota's mom. Yeah, write that in real quick. Like, it feels very forced, and I was just like, I could do without that, honestly. It just, nah, I'm not a really big fan of that. They could have had, like, a heartfelt moment, and, like, without the whole mother thing, though. Like, I don't know, it just seemed out of nowhere and weird. But like I said, it's like, it's a minor frickin' problem I have with the episode, as it's not relevant going forward. Because, obviously, Ginny dies in this episode. Another thing that kind of bugged me this episode was Sherry. Yeah, she annoyed the hell out of me, even worse than in 605 actually. When Dwight's trying to get her to go to the dam with him, and frickin' she's just like, no, I'd rather be with the outcast instead, and basically gives him a big middle finger, basically sends him away. I'm like, honestly, you're a freaking piece of shit, and you're a shit person, and you're a shit wife. I'm like, you honestly, you're a terrible person. Because you have Dwight, who's been looking for Sherry for all these, like, years, basically. Literally, like, going across the entirety of the states at this point. And then you've got Sherry that basically just does that to him. I'm like, okay, whatever. You're a dick. But yeah, those are minor issues I have with the episode, of course. And in general, this is a fantastic episode, though, guys. Like, Morgan, like, Lenny James is acting this episode. Brilliant as always. And Colby Maniffy actually did a great job for her final episode as Virginia. Coleman Domingo Estrand was another standout this episode. I thought he owned every scene he was in. And yeah, guys, so this episode for me, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. I think a 9 is fair. There's just those few gripes I have with it. But, like, other than those few gripes, this episode is fantastic. And it's a great return to form for Fear. What are your thoughts on the episode Wasteland?
So yeah, I thought this episode was freaking great. Um, I've been joking around, for the past few, like, nights and stuff, like, on and off. I'll be saying, like, for one second, like, oh yeah, this episode is phenomenal, then the next second I'd be like, oh yeah, this episode sucks and stuff. I'd just be joking around and stuff. But I honestly, yeah, I think this episode was great. Um, I thought the Virginia stuff was great. As far as her final episode goes, um, I thought, and I also really liked the Lawton shootout. I thought the Lawton shootout was very good, especially with Strand, like, saying, like, you told me to get ready for an army, to have an army and stuff. You told me to get an army ready, but you didn't know who I was going to use it against and stuff, or didn't tell me who I was going to use it for. I thought that was awesome when Strand done that. Um, and I really like the scene when Sherry comes and tries to kill Virginia and stuff, and Morgan, freaking knocks her down. I thought that was freaking great. Just because you guys know I can't stand her. Like, I can't stand Sherry, like, at all. Like, I think she's a whiny little prick. I think, yeah, I don't know. I just think that she's just a horrible wife, a horrible person, and yeah. Um, I liked also the scenes with, I like the scenes at the beginning, with June and stuff, burying John, and, she's having thoughts about killing Virginia because she's right there and stuff, and, she picks up the gun, kind of thinks about it, and, of course she was going to, but, Hill was there to stop it, freaking Hill. Again, I thought that was very good. I like that scene. I like the scene with, I like the scene where, Grace and them come back and, Morgan finally gets to see her again. I thought that was great, thought that was great. Yeah, like Matt said, the only real gripe with this episode, I think, is this scene with, the whole entire daughter thing. I thought that was a bit forced. Just came so out of nowhere. It should have been sooner rather than later. and I just thought it was a bit weird before her death, like right before her death. Um, so basically, like all the like a lot of stuff that happens with this episode is you have the Lawton shootout. Morgan takes Virginia hostage and stuff because she has Daniel and Luciana and Grace and them held captive, and basically he takes her hostage, and all these groups are coming after Virginia to kill her, and Morgan has to keep them away so that he don't screw up the deal and stuff of with Grace and them, like like yeah, like if they killed her, of course, the Pioneers have instructions to kill uh, Grace and them, and you and then you have Morgan also take her back to the Dam. You have the whole entire scenes there. Everybody comes around to watch Virginia's execution, and Morgan has to go through with it. Morgan takes her back, puts her in the cell, and then June shoots her. So that's basically the gist of the episode. Um, and also, there's a scene in there I thought was a bit weird. I didn't know, like, really what it was too much about. Like, I didn't really get it. It was a scene where Sherry was like, when Morgan's saving Virginia and stuff, and she's like, "You're just like her. You're just like Virginia." I was like, I thought that was a bit forced. I thought that was a bit weird. Just throwing that out there. I don't know. Um, it's like, okay, but how? Why? Just like explain that a bit. I don't know. Um, Again, I think my favorite part of the episode is Virginia's death, though. I thought that was freaking great. June walking out of the dam, just with John's hat on. I thought that was freaking sick. Um, yeah, honestly, guys, this was a fantastic episode. It's I'll give the episode about an 8.5 out of 10. Yeah, 8 or 8.5, somewhere around there. Yeah, I had a lot of fun watching this episode. I wasn't a fan of it at first. I'm not gonna lie. I actually didn't like it that much at first. I thought it was a bit disappointing at first, but then I saw it with the new light, and I saw it for what the story really was. Keep in mind, when the first time I watched it, it was like freaking 3 a.m. or like somewhere around there. So I was really tired. I didn't really get it. I was just basically like oh, Virginia's death must happen. That's all I really cared. But once I saw it past the Virginia death, yeah, the Virginia death was great, and that is definitely a very key part in that episode. Um, I saw it for what the story really was, and it brought a new light to the episode, and I really like it now. And yeah, that's my overall general thoughts of Fear the Walking Dead, season 6, episode 9.
Perfect. Yeah, good score, and I agree with like all your points with what you said there. I think yeah, it's a great rating for the episode. What are your thoughts on the episode, Dan?
So as you guys know, if you've seen my review, you guys know I was a very big fan of this episode because, honestly, just compared to last week, and in my opinion, I'm sorry, but the garbage that we got last week of a death, of just everything like that, we get this episode, and I'm like, all right, so this is pretty darn good. I'm going to tell you this. It's one of the best episodes of Season 6 for me personally, and, I don't know. This episode, I wasn't a big fan of how it started, I'll be honest, because I'm like, they're just dragging out the John death, they're just dragging it out. And it's like, you see her, take the gun, and it's like, okay, what does that scene matter? You're just adding on extra John death stuff, rub it in our faces, and stuff like that. Man, I mean, honestly, I was wrong, because I actually love that scene now, because she takes the gun, and obviously we all know, what she does with it at the end. And I like how at the beginning of the episode she kind of considers possibly shooting Virginia there, and she didn't have the chance because there's, Hill there and stuff like that. But it's like, no. And I like how they set that up. And obviously, you know, the highlight of this episode would be the ending when she actually does kill Virginia. But all right, now the whole lineup thing, love it. I love every part of it. Honestly, I love when Morgan just completely exposes Virginia. I love this, you know, just everything with Strand when he flips, and I think that, you know, like Wasteland was saying, is that it's like honestly when he flips and you've got that scene where he's just like, yeah, you told me to prepare an army, but you didn't really pay attention to, you know, who I was going to use it against, that whole thing. I love that. I love the way they did that. And honestly, Strand in this episode, he did impress me, I'll be honest. In that scene, he impressed me. And then the whole Morgan thing, now, obviously, this is where the one flaw comes in for me. And honestly, the one flaw of this episode is kind of in the same scene. Like, there's two flaws, but it's kind of like in the same scene. And that's when you've got Virginia that reveals to Morgan that that Dakota's, you know, her daughter. And it's like, you know, not a big fan of that storyline. Like Matt was saying, it kind of just came last minute. And in my opinion, kind of poorly used. I'm not going to lie. But the other flaw is in the exact same scene. And that's Sherry, honestly, saying like, oh, like, you're just like her. It's like, dude, honestly, Sherry, why on earth would Sherry, like, just be like that? Like, why are they... I understand why they're writing her character like that. I do. They're trying to make it comic accurate, which I'm like, okay, well, if that's the point, then they're doing a good job. But... and the actress is doing a great job for Sherry. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that I feel like she can be very annoying to a point where I feel like they could kind of tone it down a bit when it comes to how bad she's being. Like, it's like, okay, like, chill out a little bit. You're trying to adapt the comic story, but in my opinion, it could have been a little bit better, in my opinion. But the rest of the episode, really good. I like when Strand and them show up. I like when Morgan is about to kill Virginia. And, you know, honestly, like Wasteland was saying, you know, I was really upset at first because I'm like, you know, it's just going to be the cliche, Season 8, Episode 16 of the main show. You know, we got to save the person. You know, it's got to be all about peace. And it's like, you know, honestly, that whole thing I just was not a big fan of. However, I will say that it, you know, honestly, it paid off at the end of the episode. That's what I'll say. And I'm good with it. I'm good with Morgan not killing her in order to get that ending, which I just love. And the other thing I'll touch on in this episode is Grace and Morgan. Love that. Love every second of that. That was really good. I like that reunion. I like how the group is back together now. And in my opinion, the way this episode ends, it is the best part of the episode for me because they play the same music as they did for Morgan. You know, it's kind of different, but I like it. And, you know, in my opinion, the death of Virginia, it's everything I wanted, to be honest. And it's also unexpected of who kills her, which I like kind of the unpredictability there that they kind of did. And in my opinion, this episode overall, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. I thought it was really good, and yeah, that's my thoughts.
Perfect. Yeah, 9 out of 10. Yeah, 9 is very good score. And it's such an upgrade of a score from like last week too. So like it just goes to show you that like Fear, like honestly, it's back to being really good again. And honestly, I couldn't be happier with how the show's turning out again. So yeah, I also agree with a lot of your points as well and your cons with it. So yeah, I agree with like mostly everything you just said there. What's your thoughts on the episode, Rowdy?
Well, I gotta say, I agree with all of you. Fantastic mid-season premiere, if you want to call it. I did not expect this to be this good of an episode, especially after the dog shit episode that was episode 8. But this episode, not only was it a really good comeback, it actually even fixes some of the problems I have with episode 8. So, I love the whole lawn scene, the lineup. Even though nobody died out of our, like, cast there, I still found it to be a very interesting scene with Morgan slowly rolling up, exposing Virginia for being a liar, Strand turning the tables, and just the pioneers. And I just found it really funny with Virginia, you know, going to each of her rangers and be like, oh, I did this for you, I did this for you. And it just shows, like, how pathetic Virginia really is, and like how she has to rely on lies to stay in power. So I think that's a very fantastic scene. Battle of Lawn I'm not too thrilled by it. Like, it had its small issues. It felt like nobody really got killed or hit from the Rangers. We just saw a few die. It would have been nice to see a bit more carnage, if you know what I mean. But at the same time, apparently this episode was filmed during COVID, so I understand why they might not have been able to go all out with it. And now I'm gonna go to my biggest flaw with this episode, which is the Virginia and Dakota storyline. Ginny being Dakota's mother for me, very just dumb idea, comes out of nowhere and too late if you ask me. If they were gonna do that storyline, they should have just like made Dakota Ginny's daughter from the beginning, and not have it just come out of nowhere. Cause really, it just feels pointless, if you know what I mean. Since Virginia dies at the end of the episode, Virginia's done. So it just feels like it has no impact. Like, sure, like, oh, Dakota's sad because her mother's dead, but just have Ginny and Dakota have a heartfelt scene together in the church and have them like kind of make up, you know? They're sisters, but there you go, Dakota's still sad about Ginny's death. So for me, that's my biggest gripe with the episode. I have to agree with the Sherry thing that Matt mentioned too. Sherry just pissed me off in this episode. With her just wanting to freaking cap Virginia, and she aimed a gun at Morgan. That is unforgivable. You do not aim a gun at Morgan Jones. So I'm so glad he tripped her ass. That was super satisfying to watch. And well, especially that she wanted to like kill Ginny when Morgan was telling her not to. Like, Ginny, Sherry should know to trust Morgan, and that if she killed Virginia, then that'd be putting Morgan's people at risk. So yeah, and I gotta go to the best in the episode, the ending. The reviewers said this episode has a satisfying ending, and man, that was not a lie. June just coming in, aiming her gun at John's gun at Virginia, and just capping her right there, and just walking out the church, puts on the hat, and just walks away while everybody calls out her name with the freaking World Gone Mad theme song playing in the background. I just think that's one of the best. That's one of the best villain death scenes in the franchise, in my opinion. I think some of you might find that controversial, but I have to say, just in the term of satisfaction, like, this made June, in my opinion, June was an awful character before this. Like, though Jenna Elfman's a great actress, I'm just not a fan of the June character. But, oh my god, a 2-minute scene made June one of my least favorite characters on Fear to one of, if not my favorite female characters. Like, right now, they keep running her like this, she's giving Alicia Clark a run for her money.
Agreed.
And that's saying something. So I am just so impressed with this. Like, and like I said, it fixed episode 608 a bit. I still think 608 is terrible, but it at least led to something with Dakota. And like, sure, I'm not happy John died, but Garrett Dillahunt wanted to leave, so I can give them a pass on this now. And it overall led to June destroying Virginia. Just destroying Virginia and putting a bullet in her head. And yeah, I'm just glad that happened, because sure, we lost John Dory, one of the best characters of the franchise, but if they play this right, we may be getting another fantastic character. So
Agreed.
Overall, really like a fantastic episode, and one of the best episodes of season 6, and probably one of the best episodes of Fear. I'm gonna give this one a 9.5 out of 10.
Alright, yeah. And I agree with, like, all the ratings we just discussed there. And, like, yeah, like, nothing below an 8. So, like, that just goes to show you that, like, Fear's really gotten its shit together. And, like, they basically, like, you know, they fixed a lot of stuff from 8, in my opinion, because I just like that, even though John is gone, like, there's even, like, a revenge for that. Like, John basically gets, like, avenged in this episode, like, in a way. So I'm like, you know, I'm just happy that it's, like, you know, at least we got something that fixed a bit of 608. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
And to you guys that's watching, and to, well, I mean, you boys that's here right now, 610's opening minutes are out, and they are phenomenal.
Perfect. I'm
Really?
gonna check that out right when the stream's done.
Ben, have you seen it?
Awesome.
'Cause I thought you were watching it.
I'll go check it out right now.
And for anyone who's watching, guys, I'll have to cut the stream short today. Like, not now, but like 10 to 20 minutes, because I do have a important like appointment tomorrow. So like, I can't be up super late because I got to do stuff. So we'll talk about like Fear for another 10 to 20, and then I do have to wrap this up, unfortunately. So
That's
yeah.
fine, man.
All good, man.
All right, so I'll read off some of the chat. I'm not a fan of how they're making Sherry like her comic counterpart because I hated her in the comics. Yo, she was a bitch in the comics, though.
Who said that?
Epic.
Cool.
Yeah, in the comics, she's she's terrible.
Oh my god. Her death was so, like, satisfying. Like, that'd be great. Imagine if Dwight just, like, snaps her neck. Like, she attacks Dwight in Fear. And, like, they actually adapt something from the comics to Fear the Walking Dead instead of the main show.
Well, they're adapting, like, a lot of the comic stuff with Sherry, they're adapting while remixing, but I feel like that one, man, they might want to just make that even more heartbreaking than in the comic. Like, they might just have it be Dwight. That would be, that'd be insane.
For real, I agree. I would love for that to happen. Especially, like, I mean, it looks like they kind of fix things though in the trailer for 610 though, 'cause you see them like embracing.
Yeah, which adds kind of a bit of a bigger flaw to 9 though, because it's just like, why would you have it be like that if episode 10 it's like everything's good?
Because maybe Sherry, like, who knows, maybe she sees the error of her ways and she's like, ah, fuck it, I gotta maybe go back and make up for this or something, who knows.
Yeah.
I could see that. In my opinion, though, this is what I think will happen. They're going to make her kind of nice to Dwight. Maybe she joins in on the group. But I think it's only very temporary. I think by 6:14 to 6:16, Sherry's going to get unhinged again. She's going to kind of go a little crazy again. And it's going to lead to Dwight killing her. Like, what are you guys' thoughts on that? Like, do you think that could happen? Or, like, no?
Yeah. I do, and the reason why I say I think it's going to happen is because it's like, I don't see Sherry surviving season 6 because I feel like I don't know, it feels like it was like pulling teeth for the actress even to come back, so it's like, maybe they told her, they're like, okay, your character's going to be around for a little while, by the end of the season, you'll be able to go off and do whatever you want to do, but like, let's wrap up this character, you know?
Let's at least wrap the storyline up, yeah. Yeah, I mean, me personally, I don't see Sherry surviving this season. I think it's a one-season thing, and then they're done with the character and move on from it.
Agreed.
Yep.
It's kind of weird to think that Sherry is one of the only surviving members of the Saviors left. Like, you just have Negan, you have Dwight, Alden, and Sherry. And that's literally it. Everyone else is dead.
Yeah.
Yep.
But only 2 of them are good.
Bro,
Only 2 out of the 4 are good.
the end is the beginning is going strong in that opening minutes, though.
Oh, they're in the opening
Agreed.
minutes.
They're not in it, but there's like a lot of hints in it.
Oh, so
Yeah.
they're making, like, their full frickin', like, they're going right into that arc now. Frickin' right.
Oh yeah, like they're
Yep.
hammering down on it. You can definitely tell now.
Yeah, it's like all happy and shit in the opening minutes. Like, it almost reminds me of the openings of 9:15 of the main show. With the husband and the wife.
Oh,
Things
yeah,
are
yeah.
gonna go bad.
Was the name Hilda and Mitch, I think?
Yeah, something like that.
Yep.
Man, that scene, though, that's one of my favorite scenes from the Walking Dead Whisperer arc, because it's so creepy. Like, you just have this happy, like, couple just going to the fair, but you know something's up, because you don't even know these two characters. You're just, and when they're on the road, you're just like, something's gonna frickin' happen. Then when you have Alpha singing that, like, lullaby, and she's scalping the corpse of that woman, I'm just like, oh, that is disturbing, dude.
Oh, man,
Lydia,
honestly.
oh Lydia.
Ugh, that is creepy shit.
It is.
Yeah, but Man, Fear though, like back on topic for a sec, frickin' holy crap, man, like 6B, honestly, I'm just happy that we're past 6A now, because 608, unfortunately, like, kind of, I don't know, man, 6A ended in a bad way, in my opinion. Obviously, we all kind of, I think, agree on that mutually. But where we're at with 6B now, I'm just happy that you can kind of put 6A in the past now and just move forward with this. But, like, what I'm trying to say here is, like, there's just one thing I'm kind of curious about is, like, what is episode 12? Like, what is it? I'm kind of nervous about it. I'm not gonna lie, 'cause I mean, it's called In Dreams, but like, what is it? Like a hallucination episode? Like, because there's like leaked screenshots of Morgan with white hair, and it's like, we know that that's not gonna be actually what he looks like in the time skip, because there's legit promo images of him with his black beard again. So I'm like, okay, what is that?
Yeah, in my opinion, I don't want to like speak too soon because we don't know much about episode 12. But again, like, I don't know. Hear me out on this. Is that it's like maybe episode 12, it's Grace, and like we know that maybe around that episode she actually gives birth or something, and I don't know. Maybe she's in and out of it. You know, kind of these dream sequences play out. And I don't know if they're gonna do this. This would be messed up if they actually did this, but. Imagine Grace actually dies from childbirth, and like there's dreams of like what it could have been like if she grew old with Morgan, and it's like if the kid was there and stuff, and it's just like, you know, you turn a bad idea for an episode into something just gut-wrenching by the death of
sad.
Grace.
Here's a synopsis. I'll read you guys the synopsis for episode 12.
Okay.
Grace wakes up with a case of amnesia and sees what has become of her friends after she has been gone for years, and she struggles to put the pieces together on what has transpired.
What? The heck?
Huh?
That sounds weird.
Huh?
Come again.
I'll read it
Come
one more
again.
time so you guys
Read
can
that, yeah,
What?
please read that again. What the fuck is that?
Grace wakes up with a case of amnesia and sees what has become of her friends after she has gone for years.
Oh, fuck. Are you telling me she goes in a fucking coma and then, like, some Rick Grimes shit? Oh, what the
No.
hell?
Never mind my
You don't
freaking
go into
idea.
a coma.
And she struggles
Wait,
to
you
put
don't-
the pieces. And she struggles to put the puzzle pieces together on what has transpired.
Oh, lordy, no. Oh, that sounds terrible.
What the heck? Well,
We're gonna
who
be
is?
getting, like, episode 12 from, like, Grace's amnesia perspective.
Oh my
Man.
god! What?
White-haired
You
Morgan
don't
better
know-
not be canon, because there's no way Morgan turns that old in a few years. Like, that is ridiculous, so that's legit what he's gonna look like.
I agree.
Man.
That's.
God,
I
no.
just hope they pull like, in my opinion, they need to do like a season 8 thing where it's like she actually, and yeah, you know, I'm honestly gonna say this, like if they want to make it gut wrenching, have her literally die from childbirth. Just hear me out. And you literally have like dream sequences of what it could have been if she survived and the kid, like, you know, her and Morgan became like, you know, proper parents and like they actually had a happy life, and they just tug at the heartstrings where it's like, in reality, no, Morgan has nothing again and Grace is dead.
But Morgan has the kid, and that's it.
Hey Rowdy,
Oh,
if you can.
man.
Hey Rowdy, if you can you send me that screenshot of gray-haired Morgan?
Yeah, no problem. But the thing is, like, you said like if she could go into a coma, but who goes into a coma for multiple years?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like,
That episode
that's
sounds
not
weird.
realistic.
I need to know, because episode 11 is end is the beginning setup. So, like, how do we go from that to, oh, it's been years later?
I guess Texas gets nuked by the end is the beginning group, and everybody gets separated again.
Let me guess, Ian and Andy are writing that episode? Oh, God,
I wouldn't be
probably, dude.
surprised.
Man, honestly, it's gonna go back to the theory I've been saying though, and again, like, I hope I'm wrong. I really freaking hope I'm wrong. But it's like, what if they actually pull like a whole like savior arc type of thing for episode 11, where it's like they're just an outpost, like wherever that place is just like an outpost for the end is the beginning, and Teddy is like literally dead by the end of episode 11.
which I think
wouldn't
is
be
going to
surprised.
happen, honestly. The more and more it's happening, I feel like they're building Teddy up to throw us off.
Yep.
Yeah. Like what I was gonna say, like, also isn't John Glover like a big actor as well? Like, wouldn't he be really expensive?
He's a notorious, like, villain actor that's been around since the 80s.
So he'd be expensive too. So.
Yeah, he's a big actor.
Yep.
Robert Patrick.
I feel more confident in saying now that he's dead by episode 11. I mean, I know that's going to be up for major debate, but I don't know. I'm going with that theory now.
And I could see Alicia killing him.
Definitely. Yep. We need Alicia to kill somebody. Like, we need to see, like, Alicia finally kill somebody again. When's the last time she killed a person?
I think Mel.
Yeah.
Mel from the Vultures, which is a long time ago.
You know what I mean? Like, we need some, like, badass Alicia scenes again, since she's just been such dulled down since season 3.
Yeah, like, I think Mel was the most recent one, and let's not forget she damn near killed John, too.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
we don't discuss that.
Still haven't forgiven you for that.
Yeah, screw you, Alicia.
I sent you the picture of Morgan in the chat. The old Morgan.
Oh, okay. There it is.
Yeah, that is weird.
Man, I need to see him turn around. I need to know what he looks like.
If that even is
my.
Morgan.
Bro, I don't know. Like, why would they just have a random
He has the
picture?
shirt. But he has the shirt.
Okay, in my opinion, I don't think that's going to be canon because that's just unrealistic that he would go that old in a few years.
Yep.
Yeah. Unless they're doing a big ass time jump, but I don't think Fear's jumping.
But that just doesn't make any sense because, like, they time skipped, like, a bunch of characters in the main show, and, like, none of them got that old.
Yeah, I'm telling you right now, dude, episode 12 is about to be a, like, huge dream sequence, and I'm like, man, if they do this whole Grace is in a coma for years thing, I'm gonna be so mad.
What if, like, I'm gonna lose my shit if this is the case. If, like, all of this crap is, like, all, like, some coma fever dream.
No. Just no.
Oh, fillerception. Ugh.
Ugh, man, please don't tell me that's what they're gonna do, because it's like, man, we're going on such a good journey right now with season 6, and then we would just get that.
Yeah, I agree. Like, unless she's like, maybe like she's about to go into labor, and maybe she's like having problems with the labor pains, and it's just making her see the like future or something.
I don't know, some crap like that, I guess. They need to, I don't know, man. Episode 12, I'm not excited for it. I'm nervous as hell. 10 and 11, I'm very hyped for, and 13 and onward, I am. But 12,
Yeah.
man, that one episode, what is going on with that?
It's worrying. Like, I love Grace. I don't know about you guys, but I think Grace is a really good character.
Oh, she can't lead an episode yet, though, man, in my opinion.
She's not ready. We saw that with episode 10, with season 5, episode 10.
Sorry, I'm not a Grace fan. Like, I know people like her. She's boring, in my opinion.
Man, you know, I'm excited for episode 12, to be honest, like, or no, what am I saying, episode 12? I'm excited for episode 10 and episode 11. Those two episodes, like, seem awesome. Episode 12, I agree, I'm worried about, but I'm actually going to kind of differ from you guys a little bit on 13 to 16. Because of how episode 12 goes, depending on where the storyline goes, like, it makes me worry for 13 to 16, personally.
It doesn't make me worried for that, because, like the showrunners and all that have been saying, and even AMC's gone out and said this, like, the End is the Beginning group is more of a dangerous threat than Negan and the Saviors, the Governor, and Alpha and the Whisperers.
Combined. Yeah, like, I swear, if this is a one episode thing, if episode 11 is the end of that group, like, it's just one episode, I'm done. I'm fucking done.
It won't be. This is being built up majorly, and there's some proof that these guys are a force to be reckoned with, because after this huge time skip, Honestly, no villain group has survived a time skip like this, and these guys are still around, other than the CRM.
Yeah. In my opinion, what they're gonna do, and this is just like, I don't know if it's gonna be as good. Obviously, I don't think it's gonna be as good as this. But the one comparison I can use for episode 11, The Holding, is that it's gonna be Fear's version of Not Tomorrow Yet.
Yeah, agreed. We're gonna see like that outpost get destroyed, and Teddy's gonna die, and then at the end of the episode, somehow Grace is gonna like, go into some amnesia crap, and then episode 12 is that.
Wait, wasn't Not Tomorrow Yet also season 6, episode 11?
That's 12.
12.
12.
12.
11 was
Close
not
still.
Sentai.
Oh, yeah, that was Hilltop.
That was the Hilltop stuff, which should have been a larger world, in my opinion, or whatever it's called.
Agreed.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Go
Not
ahead, Matt. I
Sentai
think
just
you were
seems
saying
like a weird frickin' title.
It
It
doesn't
is.
fit.
It makes no sense. Yeah, it's a dumb title, in my opinion. Should just be
Yeah.
called Larger World.
Agreed. 611 though, just in general, it's a pretty freaking good episode. I got to admit, the casting
is.
for Gregory, like, oh man, Xander Berkeley, like that was so on point.
Yeah, he's great. Like, I might hate Gregory, but he's well written.
And he's one of the most, if not the most comic accurate casting in my opinion.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah, like he looks exactly like Gregory.
Yeah, and he's exactly what I'd picture he sounds like too.
A phenomenal actor.
Agreed.
I love
Yeah.
Andrew.
You guys think is the least comic accurate?
The least comic accurate.
Carol?
Looks.
Look wise.
Look wise, and then we'll go with character wise.
Okay.
Listen,
I'm gonna have to go. Look wise, the governor.
Yeah.
Oh,
Completely
yeah, that's
different.
true. Yeah.
Okay, character wise.
Character wise, governor's pretty freaking similar, so
Me, it's Carol.
character wise,
Carol.
it's either going to be Carol or Herschel.
What about Andrea?
Andrea, actually. I'm gonna give it to her, cause like that is a character butchered right there.
Yeah, she deserves so much. She was so good. She's so good in the comics, and the show they just ruin her. Like
In the comics,
I'm so-
like, not even gonna lie, she was like my third or fourth favorite character in the comics.
She was,
Same.
yeah. For me, too.
When she died in the comics, I was like, no, dude, what a waste. No.
Yeah.
And the way
but
she died too, like, ooh, he got bit. I'm like, fuck
Oh.
off.
I swear they
Yeah.
probably took Carl's death. They probably were adapting that for Carl. I swear, I wouldn't be surprised.
Comic Andrea's death is the Carl death of the comics, in my opinions.
It
Agreed.
is. It's like they tried to take like a fan favorite from the comic, and they're like, "Ooh, for the show, like we got to do that." And it's like, dude, I remember when I literally saw that panel. I don't know if you guys remember this, but dude, I remember when I saw that panel where you see the scene. It's issue 165. Where you see the bite on her neck, and she's just like, "Oh shit!" It's just like, "Are you
Dude,
kidding me?"
I
I
remember,
have the
I'm
issue.
not even gonna lie, right? This is how pissed I was. I remember I saw that panel, and I freaking whipped my comic book at the wall.
Really?
I was like, fuck off with that.
Wait, let me look for it in my comic book. What page was it? Like, not number, just like the scene.
I burned my copy of 191.
What? Why?
Just Rick's death, dude. That pissed me off.
Oh, Rick's death was,
Yep. It's issue
So-
165, Rowdy. It's issue 165 of the comic, and it's like the last panel.
Yeah,
Legit,
when I'm
I think
looking.
All Out War. I think All Out War in the comics is the last like very good story arc.
Yeah, the Whisperers, in my opinion, in the comics weren't the best. And, the not CRM, the Commonwealth arc in the comics was,
That
The
was
snooze
boring.
fest.
It was boring. It will drag out forever, and it had some of the worst deaths of the comics.
not gonna lie, I dropped off the comics when Dwight died. I couldn't handle it anymore.
Oh, I
Wow.
did. Just
Yeah, found
at
it.
the end, but
I dropped off the
like
comics, and then I was just like, okay, Dad, no, I'm not doing this no more. And then when Rick died, I'm like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, go ahead and do that too. Why don't ya? And then that final comic though, the final issue, yeah, I love that.
Yeah, it was good.
It just sucks that it was abrupt, though, because it's like, in my opinion, the ending of the comics, with the exception of a few things, it's like darn near perfect.
Hey,
by the
Matt,
way-
what made Rick's death bad is that Sebastian didn't get killed or anything. I agree, dude. Like, I'll say this, is that I actually think comic Rick's death is worse than John's, because at least John got avenged. You know what I'm saying?
What I was gonna say is, what I was gonna say is the, whatchamacallit? I was gonna say something, but I forgot.
This
Okay,
page, guys.
actually, I want to hear what you guys say. Which death is worse, comic Rick or John Dory?
Comic Rick, just because of how big the character is.
It's
Oh,
Rick
no,
Grimes, yeah.
I don't care for
Yeah,
both.
comic Rick.
Both deaths were stupid. But I guess if I had to choose, yeah, probably comic Rick.
Yeah.
But we knew he was gonna die. Because didn't Robert Kirkman confirm he was gonna die like from the beginning? Like Rick would not survive.
I didn't
Yeah.
think he was gonna die because I didn't think he was gonna die that early because the original plan and from at that point nobody knew that the comics were ending with 193 because Kirkman actually had plans for 300 issues.
Yeah, and then he abruptly made fake comic cover art issues to throw people off. Ugh.
That's
Yeah.
bad. That was so bad.
Yeah, the sheriff and the swordman strikes.
The,
And we were like theorizing.
Sheriff Kapoor, and wasn't there one of like I swear they were trying to make it look like Negan was stabbed or something. I'm like, are you kidding me?
It was all
Or
fake.
Carl.
Maybe Carl, yeah. Either way, though, I'm just sitting there and I'm like, you know, honestly, it's just crazy what they did. And in my opinion, aside from issue 193, the ending of the comics is crap, and I'm going to tell you why. Is because they literally, like, they put you in this mindset around issue 190 of like, oh yeah, this is building up. The Commonwealth storyline is about to go somewhere, finally. And then it's like 191, they literally leave you on a darn cliffhanger. They make you wait a month to finalize Rick's death. And then it's like, they give you 192. It's just, there's nothing to it aside from a terrible death. And then 193, abruptly after you kill Rick Grimes, you're just like, yeah, we're done.
Oh,
Yeah,
dude, the
I
comics
agree.
ended terribly, in my opinion. I think Kirkman, honestly, what he did was really freaking not cool. What he did to the fans,
Yep.
Yeah,
No.
when he played with us.
he kind of messed with his like fans. I'm like, dude, what are you doing?
Yep.
Yeah,
And if you're gonna
I
kill
agree.
Rick, kill him in a good way.
Well, I mean, okay, what is it with these little kids and killing fan favorite characters? And it kind of annoys me that Robert Kirkman himself wrote a death like that for Rick Grimes.
Yep.
Agreed.
Like, oh, dude, if that happened on the show, say Rick never left, and you got this little shit shoots Andrew Lincoln's Rick Grimes, and Rick just becomes a walker and Judith finds him, I'd be like, you don't know how enraged I'd be, but I'd be even more seething than I was than when John Dory died. I would be over the moon pissed.
Oh man, yeah, you were pissed that night when you watched John's death too, so that says a lot.
Yeah, oh, I was going off for like half an hour. You guys were there to witness that rant.
Yep.
But yeah, like if Andrew Lincoln, Rick Grimes died like that, there wouldn't be words to describe how pissed off I would be.
Agreed.
Oh, that'd be insulting.
Yeah, and yeah, if anyone writing-wise is listening to this from The Walking Dead or AMC by random chance, please don't adapt that death. Just
No.
avoid it.
Bad
Ugh.
idea. Just do better with the Commonwealth arc. It had so much potential in the comics, and it has so much potential in the show. Don't ruin such a great opportunity to do something great.
Well, imagine they literally take they literally take like just like, yeah, we're gonna take the fans' advice. We're gonna bring Andrew Lincoln back for the final season. They advertise it, and they're just like, oh, Andrew Lincoln comes back. You know, Rick Grimes returns for his final you know, for the final season, and then they still adapt the comic death after making a big deal out of his like return.
No, I would lose my shit, dude.
I'd rather just get the CRM stuff.
Yeah,
rather
at
just
that
hit me with
point,
CRM.
Yep.
Man, I'm just grateful though that Negan won't be getting that death because they confirmed he's getting his own spin-off, which I was nervous about at first when they were doing the whole Lydia thing. I'm like, ah, fuck off. They're setting up Negan for that death, aren't they?
Yeah, I agree. They could maybe get the White's death to
Magna. Magna's definitely getting that death.
Magna, yeah.
Please do. I cannot stand her.
Because think about it, Yumiko's kind of in Michonne's place right now with the whole lawyer thing. Yeah, I mean, it's totally being set up that Magna will get that death.
Yeah, and I won't be sad about it because I don't like Magna.
Oh, I hate Magna.
Nah.
Actually, I have two candidates for that death right now. Either Magna or Alden.
Yeah, Alden's possible since Xavier.
Yeah, I can give. Those are the two candidates.
Yeah, I'd be good with Alden. The only problem about it is, though, is that it's like they're gonna have to build him up for a while, and it's like, man, that death is like still close enough. I'm like, man, like if you're gonna build it up, get ready.
Yeah, it's a big death, which is why I'm definitely saying Magna, because Alden seems he's too small of a character to get that death. I'm sorry, no one's gonna care.
Yeah, whereas Magna, it's like, you could see it, like, coming. Like, you can see it from the distance.
Plus, Magna does have her fans, which I'm not one of them. I'm just saying, like, Magna does have fans, so people will be sad when that death happens.
What, like 2 people?
Yeah, like, whoever those 2 people are, like, if I've offended you, I'm sorry.
Good for you. You have your opinion, but ours is different.
Yeah.
I hate that scene where Yumiko's trying to talk in 10:05. Yeah, it's 10:05, and Yumiko comes in trying to talk to Magna and have a heart-to-heart. And she's just like sitting there listening to the freaking like some kind of like, well, she's listening to Half Moon, and then like she's trying to tune out Yumiko and crap, and just turns it up. Like, what a freaking prick!
I know. Well, you know what? It's, you know, the one good thing I'll say about Magna, she's got a good taste in music.
Yeah, true enough. Oh man, honestly, like I've been saying, they gotta release a full Half Moon album in real life.
For the longest time, it was
have Ryan Hurst.
For the longest time, they said it was gonna be a theory that it was gonna be in the Blu-rays, but from like 10C being added, like, you know, that they're gonna do less special features probably.
They better add the Half Moon album, dude.
Yeah, well, the theory is that there's gonna be 7 discs, so I'm like, okay, you've got room, like, add it.
Get it in there,
yeah,
because I will legit go online and frickin' support and buy that frickin' album.
Yep.
Yeah,
I think Ryan Hurst, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not sure, but I think Ryan Hurst like learned to do like that kind of like singing and guitar stuff specifically for that role. Don't quote me on that though. I'm not 100%.
I think
if
so
he
too.
did, much respect. Much respect to him if he did.
Yep.
Man, honestly though, talking about Half Moon, it's like I'm just like, holy crap, man. Like I miss Beta's character, dude. Like, man, what a great frickin' villain. Honestly, it's kind of sad that he gets underlooked.
Yep. Alpha gets all the spotlight. It's like, honestly, like you know, everybody's like, "Oh, Samantha Morton." It's like she's so good, and it's like, yeah, I agree, but it's like, what about Beta?
Well, he doesn't even have his own pop or anything. I'm like, come on, man.
I would know.
He's better than Alpha in some ways. Like, I think Alpha's overall my favorite, but he's close.
He beats Alpha for me just in the one reason only. Alpha would not have control of the Whispers if it weren't for Beta being there by her side.
That's true.
The Whispers fear Alpha because they know if they fuck with her, they gotta deal with that fucking thing.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, yeah. Honestly, I'm gonna back Matt up on that. Honestly, I think Beta is a little bit better than Alpha, just because I don't know, not even just as overall character, but I'm gonna be honest. I think even as an actor, I think Ryan Hurst just kind of sucks me in a little bit more.
Oh yeah, I like the little details they add to Beta's character. Like in season 10, episode 10, Stalker, they show that like he is a real psychotic like animal, but he actually doesn't hurt the kids in Alexandria. Like he lets Judith and the kids go by and only attacks when Gamma goes by, which is like a little slight detail there.
Yeah, like I don't think like if you went in a room and RJ wasn't there, I don't think he'd kill RJ.
I don't think so, personally.
No.
Also, the writers don't want to go that
Also,
dark.
I'm gonna say it too, but when even when Alpha comes in that asylum that they're holed up in, and Beta's like threatening them and stuff, she's like, well, you know, if you're gonna kill me, then you must kill my daughter because I will not leave this world without her. And then Beta just stops.
Yeah, he stops himself.
Yeah, well, you know, honestly, it's like if RJ was like right in front, like let's say hypothetically RJ was like right in front of Beta, and RJ was completely helpless. No, Beta just be like, "Go, kid."
He'd probably just like look at him and walk past him.
Yeah,
probably just
he
give
would
him,
just kind of give him a little bit of a warning face or something.
Yeah, and he'd walk away.
Might have a bit of a growl. Like,
Maybe
might look
Judith.
at him. Might have a bit of a growl. He'd probably like look at him and be like, and then just
Yeah,
move on.
and then just walk away.
Yep.
Where Alpha would straight up kill a kid. Alpha doesn't
Oh,
give
yeah.
a fuck. She's nuts.
Alpha will legit, not like, and this is a dark thing, but it's true. She would legit force RJ down and freaking decapitate him.
Yeah.
Yep. That's why I like Beta more, just because Beta, like, I don't know, in my opinion, he's more of a realistic person, whereas Alpha, it's just like, okay, she's just gone.
So he's more human. Beta's a bit
Oh.
more human, I guess.
In a way, he is, because Alpha is a blatant psychopath. There's no redeeming qualities. Where Beta, there's like little cracks where you can kind of see some like humanity there, and you got like frickin' like when he takes his mask off in 1014, you actually kind of see him crying, and you see him kind of like just listening to his music, and you have him like trying to fight the crying back, but like he can't, and it's like you just have like those little moments there, and you're like, okay, this guy's not like fully gone. In my opinion, he's fully gone when he wears Alpha's face. It's over at that point.
Yeah,
this,
at
Yeah,
that point,
like-
he doesn't give a fuck, in my opinion.
I agree.
I love the scene in 912 when Alpha's like telling her, not him, telling him the story of when Lydia was choking on that piece of plastic, and like, you know, she let it happen so she can learn. And Beta's legit looking at her like, what the crap?
Like, what's
I know.
wrong with you?
Man, if you
for
disturb
real.
Beta, then you know you're like a psycho.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like Alpha's worse. Like Beta was not a psycho person before the apocalypse. He was a famous singer. What made him crazy, well, according to Ryan Hurst's fan theory, is that a crazy fan broke into Half Moon's house and killed his wife.
Yeah.
Which I'm just gonna consider that canon.
Agreed, yeah. And that's why he doesn't like
Yeah.
to show his face or like have people know him as Half Moon, was because he's ashamed that his fame got his wife killed.
Yeah, and you know, not to
Yeah.
mention, what a fantastic actor, I might add. And the reason why I'm going to say that is because it's like you could literally take an actor that could blow us away, which is Ryan Hurst, and literally come up with a backstory that isn't even canon that make people want that to actually happen.
I'm just sitting
like
here and
that.
I'm like, pardon the pun, but I'm like, yo, we need Here's Beta next.
Oh,
I know.
Tales of the Walking Dead. I think that has to happen for Tales.
Yeah,
like,
they
Tales of the
gotta
Walking
do it.
Dead, it has to fucking happen. I don't care. Beta, like, we need Beta's backstory. We got Alphas. We need Betas. It would even
Yeah.
make We Are the End of the World less of a fucking awful episode.
Agreed. Yeah, well, it's like, honestly, that's the other thing that kind of annoyed me with We Are the End of the World. It's like, dude, this is 2 frickin' Alpha backstory episodes now. Like, where's Beta?
I like how you just
Yeah,
have me and Kate on the other side of the argument, like, where the end of the world's not that bad.
Oh, I hate it. It's
Same.
I almost hate it as much as Splinter.
Oh, I can't agree with you on that. I can't.
Oh no, oh buddy,
Yeah.
that is okay.
It's
Yeah,
I can't
better.
see
it's
on
better
that
than
one.
Splinter. It's better
It's
than
better
Splinter,
than
but not by
Splinter,
much.
yeah.
but not by
In
much.
my opinion, this one will like shock, Dan and Rowdy, but I'll even say We're the End of the World's a strong 7 out of 10 for me.
Yeah.
Really? I mean, that's fine. That's fine, man. You're entitled to your opinion. Just personally, I
I'm
don't
sorry,
agree.
but I cannot see you guys.
I actually like having opposite opinions, though. It adds kind of like more like, more discussion topics. So actually, like, okay, I kind of want to hear you guys out. Like, how come you guys don't like the episode?
Yeah.
Just feels pointless, I guess. Like it just feels like learning more about Alpha that we already knew. Like we already knew everything.
Yeah, well, I just want to kind of elaborate a little bit. It's that it's like, honestly, that episode, one, it's terribly placed in my opinion. You literally wait so long to jump into a new season, and it's like, the second episode, you focus on your frickin' villains, which it's like, you don't even get that further of a backstory in my opinion, and it's like, it's just, I don't know, man, I don't get it. I don't like the scene with Alpha, like, and Gamma Sister. It's like so freaking overhyped, and then it's just like, wait, what just happened? Like,
Yeah.
I don't understand it. And then it's like the freaking scene with just Beta, Alpha, their whole I'm A, you're Mr. B. Like, dude, get me the fuck out of here, seriously.
I agree. Gamma was cool though. I did like the stuff with Gamma. The Gamma stuff was great. But that's it, really.
This is what I'll say in defense of the episode. I like spending time with our villains that episode, because we didn't really get too much of them in 9B. Like, yeah, we had a few episodes of them, but I actually kind of like learning the hierarchy of the Whisperers, how their camp works, and I also liked kind of seeing the flashback stuff a bit, because I liked how you kind of see, like, Beta, and you could start to see the cracks already. Like, you could see there was still some, like, humanity within him. But you see Alpha kind of take that away from him in the episode. I don't know, like, me personally, I actually dig the episode. That's my opinion, obviously. And I think that Samantha Morton and Ryan Hurst, like, owned all the scenes they were in that episode. And yeah, the Gamma stuff I liked as well. Plus, the death of Gamma's sister was just brutal, too. So, like, all in all, I enjoyed it personally.
I love the scene where Alpha pledges Mary to being Gamma.
Yeah, and you got Beta that's in the background, like, completely, like, not for it at all.
Yep.
Yeah. You know, honestly, though, Matt, I'm going to have to, like, you know what? I am actually going to say some of those points I do actually kind of see your perspective on. The only one I'm going to disagree with a little bit, though, is that, in my opinion, like, you know how you said Alpha kind of, like, in a way, she's what made Beta go to that dark place. And in my opinion, Beta was already fucking nuts. In my opinion, he was already nuts, and she just, I don't know, she just pushed it even more, but he was already crazy, in my opinion.
That's what I'm trying to say, though, is that he was already crazy, but Alpha didn't help things at all. Like, I feel like if Beta ran into Rick's group, say, Season 2 or something, maybe they tried to help him. Just, like, I'm just speaking generally here. Maybe they tried to help him. Maybe they take him back to the group or the camp or whatever, and maybe Beta starts to see, like, people for what they are again, and maybe he opens up. Running into Alpha, he just ran into the wrong person, in my opinion.
Yeah. Now, you know, in my opinion, episode 2, and again, this is speaking, like, if I have to try to point out some things I liked, is that I agree with the whole Gamma sister death. I like the way they did that scene. And I also like the ending, how it kind of connects to episode 1, where it's like, oh, well, episode 1, you saw, like, our main group, now you're caught up with our main group, and now you're caught up with our villains. All right, it's time to, now that we're all caught up, let's watch
get
the
into
rest
this
of the
thing.
season.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. And it's like, that part of things I like. It's just, and, man, I know Matt and Kate are about to disagree with this, but I'm being very generous by even giving it, in my opinion, a 5.
Damn.
Oh my god.
It's a 7 for me, personally.
Like, I will say, like, I agree, like, Samantha Morin, Ryan Hurst, and Thora Birch, they all killed it. This was fantastic acting from all their characters, and it has good things about it. Like I said, I like this episode having actually quite a bit of gore too, with the opening minutes with the woman. And I also I also, again, I like the stuff with Gamma, but for the most part, the backstory stuff feels really pointless, in my opinion. It just feels like stuff we already knew. Like, I don't know. Personally, just I don't despise the episode, but at the same time, it's on what I'm gonna rewatch. You know, like it's one of those episodes I feel I can skip for season 10. Like I could go from
I
episode 1 to episode 3.
I do. I have to skip it just because honestly, mentally, I just can't fricking do it, to be honest. And it's like, the other thing about it, and this is, like you were just saying, Rowdy, it's like, that episode, all the actors in that episode are really great. It's just that, yeah, honestly, for me personally, I look at that episode and I'm like, I remember when I was watching it, I'm like, you know what? You know what? This episode, it actually has a glimmer of hope. And you know what that moment was? It was the part where Alpha is about to take Beta's, like, mask off, and she sees it. Like, she actually sees Beta's face. And then she just covers it back up. And I'm like, dude, okay, we were finally about to see something, like, that actually advances the frickin' plot. And it's like, no, they don't even show Beta's face. So I'm like, at that point, I was just done.
I was fine with it because they saved the face reveal for, you know, Beta's death, and the way Beta's death went, I'm like, I'm happy they didn't do that.
Best death of the franchise, in my opinion.
One of them for sure.
Yeah.
Number 3, Virginia. Number 2, Governor. Number 1, Beta.
Actually,
Bro,
no, go ahead.
Yeah, Virginia doesn't top my 3. I'm sorry.
For me, my top 3 Walking Dead villain deaths. Number 1 actually is gonna shock people because it's not a really big villain, but I'll go with the other. I'll go with some others first. Okay, number 3 Beta. Number 2 Joe. Number 1 Gareth. When he's like, "I already made you a promise."
Actually,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm thinking of main villains, person like big time villains. But I think Gareth, I could see your point. But I'm more thinking like long-term villains, if you know what I mean.
In my
Yeah.
opinion,
Goblin.
Gareth is a big villain because he's the cliffhanger for season 4 and season like 5, episode 1 to 3. Like, it's the most, I'm just gonna say, it's one of the most memorable arcs of the franchise, and like, people still talk about Gareth, so I'm like, you know what, that guy left his mark. I'm sorry, that character did his job, and I was happy with how that arc turned out.
Yeah.
The actor too.
Honestly, in my opinion, these are the 3 villain deaths that are my favorite personally. And they go like this. Number 3 is Gareth for me. Number 2 is the Governor. And number 1, I'm actually going to agree with Rowdy. I think Beta's death is my favorite.
It is a really good one. Actually, shockingly, this isn't even in my top 5. I'm sorry, I just don't care for it. I mean, I don't think it's terrible, but, oh man, the comics did it way better. Alpha's death, I'm sorry. I hated the whole Negan, like, oh, let me kiss you, oh, I'm so sad. Like, oh, God, man. It's like, in the comics, you could tell he was smiling while doing it, and he's just like, wait till Rick gets a look at you, and I'm like, bro, come on, the show just made him a crybaby?
Yeah.
And he just rolls the Alpha. The Carol the head.
Yeah, I'm sorry, it was a good death, but okay, but compared to the comics, I'm sorry, no, the comics is better in that regard for that death.
Well, in the
Agreed.
comics, he like felt proud of it, like you were just saying,
Like it was an
he felt
achievement.
proud. Yeah, it's like he felt proud of what he just did, and he's like, "Oh man, like what I'm about to do, showing this frickin' head to Rick, dude, let's frickin' go." And then it's like in the TV show, he's just like this crybaby. But it's like the one thing I like about the TV show version is when he rolls the head to Carol. I'm like, ah, shit, that's pretty cool.
That was cool and all, but could you imagine if they'd done this? And I would have freaking oh man, I would have loved this. Imagine he enjoys doing it like in the comics. He says, wait till Carol gets a look at you. And as he's cutting the head off like he does in the comics, you hear that theme Negan has, that kind of thing. Like, could you imagine that? Oh man.
Yeah.
I agree, I agree. It'd be fantastic, I mean, I still have my terrors from that Negan and Alpha scene in 10-9.
Don't remind me.
Man.
Frig.
Why?
Let me check the
Why
time.
did that have to happen?
We'll go until 11:30, and then I gotta go to sleep, guys.
Sounds good, man.
That's good.
Because I really do gotta do stuff tomorrow, unfortunately. I gotta be up super early and all this crap.
Yeah, when Matt
maybe next
leaves, I'll
week.
probably end up leaving as well, because I'm pretty busy for the rest of the night as well, actually.
Yeah. Okay, we got 10 more minutes. There's something I was gonna say. I kind of lost track of what I was gonna say. I remember now. Honestly, it's like low key one of my favorite Negan scenes now, and it's so slow. It's like so small, like blink it, you'll miss it. It's in here's Negan when he breaks through the glass, and you have like that rock version of Negan's theme playing as he walks through the door. Oh man, like, and it just feels like, you know, it's like, holy crap, dude, like that shot and the music combined with it, like golden.
Yep. No, I remember
Yeah.
I was saying when I was watching that, I'm like, that's one of the best scenes. Honestly, in my opinion, it's one of the best scenes of Here's Negan, if not the best, because it's like, you've just got that scene of him coming in. You know it's Negan, like, you know it's him messing with them, and then the music just picks up, and, like, when he walks in, yeah, like, they let him have, like, a moment and stuff, but then the music just picks up as he's pointing the gun, and he starts walking down, like, you know, ready to kill the guys.
You know what's another freaking, like, piece of, like, a phenomenal storytelling from that episode? Is when Negan walks out of the burning house when he kicks the door down. That is the evil Negan being born right there. That's a different guy walking out of that burning house. Like, you know, like, it's just, it's so
I agree.
perfect.
Yep.
I
And I like how they
agree.
played the music, too, to, like, kind of call back.
Yeah, I'm just like, when I see that, right, I see him coming out of that burning house, I'm like, oh, that is genius storytelling right there.
I agree, man. Like, I am excited to see what they do with Negan in season 11. Like, I hope they don't, like, do something bad with his character.
They won't, man. You
he's the
can't
best
ruin
character.
Negan.
He's the best character on the show, and he's probably, like...
He's the best
I'd
in
say
the
him and
franchise right now, man.
Oh, yeah, that's... Yeah, but I'd say him and Gabriel were probably the only characters who I think, like, had improvement in season 10. A lot of the other characters just kind of went down for me.
Yeah.
Daryl was just Daryl. I didn't say he went down for me, but he stayed just Daryl.
Yeah, but Carol, let's
Oh,
talk about
no. Not Carol.
Man,
Jesus.
and you know, Maggie I actually did like in episode 17, but then 22 and stuff, I'm like, okay, never mind, I don't like her.
Friggin' Carol in 1016 is actually a good character, and then it's like, oh, hey, let's just ruin her in 10C some more.
Yeah, like, I hope that Carol, like, goes back to being a good character, because Carol was, like, one of, like, the most badass, capable characters in the early seasons. Melissa McBride, one of the best actors on the show, and...
Hey, Matt, you get my comments. I haven't been reading the chat. Let's see. If you notice a huge difference in the main show as strong villains and keeps them around for a while, where Fear kills its villains. Yeah, Fear is its villain. Nah, Fear treats its villains like crap. I'm sorry. There's like very few exceptions there.
Well, not a lot of its villains are good, though.
I'm trying to think if there's any actual like good Fear villains. Honestly, there's only two.
Proctor John.
Yeah, just
And Emil.
Troy and Proctor John. Emil, I'm sorry, he's a one episode thing.
Yes, he's good, but for one episode, though.
Oh,
I
for
was gonna
one
say,
episode,
yeah.
he owns it. But, like,
It's
he's not like he's a
unfair to-
big villain or anything.
Yeah, but he had potential. Like, I would have been okay to have a few episodes with Emil.
I'm sorry. I think his death was perfect, and I don't think they needed to extend that anymore. Because we needed to get, like, Morgan with, like, his bounty hunter appearance and all that after.
Yeah, in my opinion, if they would have kept him around longer, they may have, like, no, it would have, in my opinion. It would have hurt, like, the amazingness it was episode 1.
Exactly. Could you imagine a Morgan spared
Yeah.
Emil? That would have damaged that episode so bad.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah, I'm not saying him spare him, just, like, him keep getting hunted. But no, that death, though, like, so satisfying. Morgan just, like, looks at him. Emil's like, you're not gonna do it, Morgan.
Well, think about this. 601. Emil doesn't die. You don't have Bounty Hunter Morgan. You don't have the Morgan Jones is dead scene, which are the key moments that make that episode what it is. So you take that out, I'm sorry, 601 is a whatever episode at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Hey guys, at least Angela Kang is better than Ian and Andy. Oh, yeah. Ian and Andy don't even deserve to get mentioned in the same sentence, my guy.
Yep, exactly, man. Honestly, those, man, they don't even deserve to be mentioned, period.
Hey Dan, you should do a Kenny evolution video, bro.
Kenny, oh, from the video game. Well, I mean, I would, and I think, honestly, I think I might, but the thing is, there are points where I'm going to rip that character apart, not going to lie.
What do you not like about him?
In my opinion, oh, man, I'm about to freaking start a big conversation with this one, but in my opinion, he's a dick in Season 2.
He is.
Episode
He's
4
way
he is.
too-
But other than that, I'm fine with him.
I like him in Episode 3, but the rest of Season 2, I'm just like, dude, this guy can die.
In episode 5, I actually liked him as well because, I mean, everyone's like, stay, he's hurting Arvo, stop it. I'm like, no, this guy legit tried to murder you and kidnap and kill your people. Like, fuck that guy. Not to mention, like, Jane in that episode leaves AJ out in a freaking car to die to prove a point that Kenny's bad. I'm like, are you kidding me, dude?
Yeah,
I
well, in
agree.
my
That's-
opinion, they were both acting like idiots in that episode. That's just my opinion. But, like, honestly, if I have to shed a light, I will shed a light on Kenny and say Season 1, phenomenal character. I loved him in Season 1.
Yeah,
In season
I
1,
agree.
okay, here's how I look at him in season 1. Episode 1, amazing. Episode 2, amazing. Episode 3, pretty good. Episode 4, he was good, but he had kind of annoying moments, like when he was getting drunk and stuff. In episode 5, yeah, amazing again.
Yeah. No, I like him in Season 1 personally. And then it's like, I was really excited when he came back in Season 2. And then I'm like, and again, I have a feeling I'm like the only one that thinks this. But in my opinion, Season 2, his character just went to shit.
Agreed.
I agree.
I didn't mind Kenny in season 1, but season 2, Kenny, that's when I started hating him.
Agreed.
It's not like I didn't hate him in season 2. Just like what Dan said. He just like they just really butchered the character and like I hate and like episode 4 was really bad for him and overall I feel I'm gonna say it. Season 2, episode 4 for me is the worst episode is one of the worst episodes of the Walking Dead games. Like
The
it's
worst
season
episode
3.
of the Walking Dead games is, that's 305.
Oh, 305 is garbage. I'm
You remember
sorry. That
Ava's
is
death?
garbage.
If you spare Ava and she makes it to that episode with you, her death made me burst out laughing. I was like, man, I legit bursted out laughing.
Tom.
Oh, it was Tom, like, before Tom's death happened.
I know, that was Tom up stupid, and it was on a bridge too.
Yeah. I mean, Kenny is still better than David from season 3. David from the New Front. Oh, I hated that guy.
Oh, agreed
He
on
sucks.
that, yeah.
He survived on my playthrough. I'm like, how?
Yeah, like all the new characters. In my opinion, all the new characters in season 3 except Javier suck. Kate sucks, Gabe sucks, David sucks, Trip sucks, Ava sucks, Joan sucks, Clint sucks. They all suck.
Trip was fine until episode 3.
Yeah, in my opinion, Clem was, like, decent, except, like, they just neglect that character in a terrible way.
What did you guys
Yeah,
think
I mean,
of
I said
Jesus in that episode when he was like even like mentioning like the kingdom? Like I thought it was a plot hole personally because I'm like, wait, so you're telling me the kingdom during the time skip from All Out War to A New Beginning had a run-in with the New Frontier, but it's just never mentioned in the comics? Like what?
Yeah.
Yeah, like what?
I was
Like,
annoyed because I'm like, wait, so you tell me the New Frontier went to the kingdom, robbed them, and killed their people? I'm like, when was this mentioned in the comics, and why is it never brought up?
Yeah, and it's like, man, if you're gonna do that, why wouldn't you show a big event like that?
Oh
seriously.
man.
Like,
But like, okay,
like-
excluding that, What did you guys think of Jesus in general, like being in the game?
I forgot he existed in the game till you mentioned it.
He's pretty good.
Yeah,
Like,
but he's decent.
I feel like
He's
they could have
definitely
used him more.
Oh, I agree. Like, it was cool that he came back in episode 5.
True.
Yeah.
I don't know though. It's just kind of weird because it's never mentioned in the comics that the kingdom was raided by the New Frontier.
Yeah, I agree, but plot holes are plot holes. I mean, fun fact, apparently Magnus Group came from Richmond.
They did?
I never heard of that. Wow.
I heard about that or something. Like, apparently, like, they were part of that community before the New Frontier took over. I don't know if that's true because I heard that a long time ago, but if that's the case,
if Kenny lives past his season 2 death, his death in season 3 is disgustingly pathetic. Oh yes, agreed.
Oh,
Yep.
the way they treated the season 2 endings in season 3 is disgusting overall. They're
This
all
is what I
fucking
do.
terrible.
This is how I spare Kenny and do it right. Frickin' let him kill Jane, and then frickin' go to Wellington and go to Wellington. There you go. Kenny goes away, he doesn't die, and then you don't see him die in season 3. They're happy.
Yep.
Edith dies, but who gives a fuck about Edith?
The fact that Edith is the death for that, I'm like, oh my god, who cares?
Who the fuck cares? You know, like, I wonder what Wellington looked like too. Like,
They're too lazy to
curious.
frickin' design the inside of it.
Yeah.
like, yeah, they could have done it, but they would have gone bankrupt a lot sooner.
Oh lordy, I'm just like, can you show this community, please? Like, you literally hear about Wellington in season 2, episode 1, for crying out loud, and it's like, hey, what is this place?
Yeah.
Like, what is this amazing place that everyone's talking about? In my opinion, when they kept mentioning Wellington like it was this perfect place, I legit thought they were setting up for, like, a Terminus story arc, like, in the games. I was like, yeah, this is not gonna end up being normal.
Oh,
You know what
same.
they should? You know what they should have done? They should have made the season 2 6 episodes and have the ending of episode 5 tied to episode 6, and then depending on your ending, you have a completely like different episode 6.
That'd be kind of cool.
Like, it'd be a big episode, like, it'd take forever to make, but, like, you could have, like, you would have basically, like, a different version for every ending.
Yeah, I can agree with that. You know what's weird, though, is they always say, like, your choices matter in the Telltale games, and I'm like, the plot kind of dictates
don't.
itself. Like, okay, here's a game where your choices matter. Detroit Become Human. I played that game. Your choices, they matter. Like, you can get all your main characters killed, and you'll just not be able to beat the game, and you have to restart. But, like, it's very hard to do that, so it's, like, it's fine in my opinion. Whereas, like, the Telltale Walking Dead games, it's like, it all goes in the same direction. Like, no matter what choices you make, it all still ends with Clem and AJ at that school by the end, so it's like, it's an illusion, in my opinion, that your choices matter.
Yeah. Not to mention, and this is a small thing. I know this is nitpicky, I'll admit, but in 401, like, they're talking about, like, you know, what's the most disgusting thing you ate. Clem says, I ate a guy's leg once. And, like, she says that no matter what, but it's not like, Clementine won't, if you're fast enough, she won't eat Mark in 102.
Yeah, I know, which means, like, your choices don't matter, because, like, you know, like, it's proven right there, the dialogue will dictate what it wants to dictate.
Like,
Yeah,
it's
well-
so small when it does. When it
Yeah.
does change, it's small.
Go ahead, Dan.
Like, honestly, I was gonna say, like, this is the biggest thing that drives me crazy with the Telltale games in general. And yeah, this is my biggest flaw with the entire frickin' game. And this goes for, like, all 4 seasons, is that it's like, you literally could go, in my opinion, at least depending on the choices you make, you could literally go from season 2 to season 4, in my opinion.
Exactly, like,
Oh, season
choices
3
just,
skippable.
yeah, don't play season 3. I'm telling you guys, if you want to experience Clementine's story, just do frickin' season 1, season 2, season 4, and A New Frontier. Just watch a
It's a
recap.
spin-off.
Just watch a recap, man. Because all you need to know is that AJ was taken to McCarroll Ranch. That's legit the only plot that you need to know, and you can pretty much fill in the dots at that point.
I
Yep.
agree, like, it's...
This is how you make A New Frontier matter. This is what you do. You have Javier come back in the final season. then that matters at that point. But no, he's like thrown away. He's like, it's stupid because like you focus this whole game on him. You have Clem like with him, and in a sense, like it's like he almost becomes like the new Lee in a way. Like he's like someone that Clem can kind of look up to in a weird way. And it's like it just kind of doesn't go anywhere. It's like okay, it's over, bye. And then in the final season, he's just he's never even mentioned in the final season. Like he just doesn't exist.
Yeah,
He is
which
mentioned.
is
No, he
proving
is
my
mentioned.
point exactly. It's like, dude, honestly, like, why? Why would you do that? Because it's like you literally have, like, in my opinion, season 3, like you just said, would have had a point if they would have at least had him in it and have like an epic return to at least kind of cap off the story. But no, they didn't even do that.
That's
Yeah,
how you
like,
know
it's dumb.
season 3 was bad. The fact season 4 tried to erase its events. Yeah, I agree, Epic.
Yeah, it's just for me. Like, here's what I'll say: season 3, in my eyes, it's a spin-off, and season 4 is the real season 3.
Yeah. There's 3 seasons. New Frontier, everyone calls it like season 3, and I'm just like, I'm sorry, man, but Clem
Call me
is,
Frontier.
in my opinion, like, Clem, she is, yeah, she's a C-lister in that freaking game. She's barely in
Gabe.
it.
Fucking Gabe has more screen time than Clem.
I
Fucking
know.
Gabe.
Yeah, it's pitiful. David has more screen time. It's just so dumb because like they advertise it like it's the next part of Clem's story, and I'm just like, you kind of lied there. I mean, she's there, but like, she's like a C-lister, man. She's just there. She's honestly there just to get people to buy the game. Like, oh, Clem's in it. I gotta play it.
Dude, I would
Yeah.
play it regardless. Just advertise it as a spin-off. Like, I think Javier is a good character. I think Javier is a great character.
I genuinely like Javier, and yeah, I'm about to really go here. I am about to go here. You guys can at me if you want, but I'm about to go here. I like Javier more than Lee as a character. I do. That's just me personally, though.
I
Well-
actually agree with you on that.
I have to disagree, but I can see the perspective.
I am definitely more of a Javier fan. I think the character like has more emotion. He's kind of like more relatable in some ways. And I just enjoy like the acting and the character more than Lee. I think he also has like a kind of like a comedic side too that I like. I don't know. I just really like
Yeah.
Javier's character.
He's
Yep.
the best part of season 3.
Yeah.
Well, it's why, like, I say that season 3, and again, like, Matt, you would know this. It's like, dude, when I was going through the Walking Dead game last year, it's like, I was literally reviewing episode 1 and 2 of season 3, and I'm like, I like this. There's a new character, there's all this stuff. I'm like, I actually like this. And then it's like, yeah, the season takes a turn for the worse, but it's like, part of the reason why I like episode 1 and 2 so much is actually because of Javier.
Yeah, but not to
Yeah,
mention,
sure.
like, 1 and 2, in my opinion, are good episodes. I'm not going to deny that. 1 and 2, you play those back-to-back, you're in for some, like, good storytelling, good characters, interesting plots, and then they get to Richmond, and it's just ruined at that point after that.
Yeah, well, actually, it's kind of funny you mentioned that, because that's literally what I did. I literally played, like, episode 1 and 2, I played back-to-back, and I'm like, dude, I actually like this.
I remember I was in the comments of your review, and I remember you're like, I don't get what's going on, like, with the hate and stuff. I'm like, yeah, just get to episode 3.
I know, and then I got to episode 3, and I'm like, I see.
And I remember your review
Yeah.
for episode 3, you're just like, yeah, I get it, guys. I know why it's hated now.
Hey, yo, a flash forward to Dan's 608 review. It sucked.
Yeah. Seriously.
Oh, man. Nah, but for real, though, like, yeah, like, the jump and, like, not the jump, the frickin' decline from 2 to 3. Ugh, it's disgusting.
Yeah, season 2 already wasn't the best, you know. I don't think season 2 was horrible. I think it had some good things, but there was already a dip of quality from the first season.
Season 2 is overrated, in my opinion, and I know people are going to at me for that, but I don't know. Season 2, I remember I'm playing through it, and I'm like, it's okay, I guess.
Personally, I think season 2 gets For me, I feel like what people say about it is just about right. Like,
Here's like my opinion on season 2 and the Telltale games in general. And this is a hot take. This is a very hot take because this is a unpopular opinion. I did not know this, but it is a unpopular opinion. I think the AMC show is better than the Telltale games. Yeah, I know I just said that, but
I
people
agree.
come after me for that. Like people are like, "Oh my god, you're an idiot for that
Uh,
opinion."
People
Yep.
are
No, I
dumb.
I agree, honestly. Honestly, not even just the main show though. And yeah, Fear the Walking Dead has had terrible frickin' seasons, and I would still say I prefer Fear over the Telltale games.
Yeah, agreed. Like season 6 with Morgan, dude. Like holy crap.
Yeah,
Yep.
season six destroys all. Season six of Fear is better than all the Walking Dead Telltale seasons.
Agreed.
Yep, double agreed.
Season five, I don't know what Telltale
No.
season five or Fear season five, Telltale season three or Fear season five.
I'll do Telltale season 3 because at least you have 2 good, amazing episodes and a good main character.
Yeah,
Yeah.
at least you get to play it. At least you can
I'll
play
tell
it,
you the
so.
worst Walking Dead piece of media ever, though. And no, it's not World Beyond. It's The Walking Dead Michonne. Oh
Oh,
boy.
Oh man, frag dude.
what did you give your? I watched your review a while back. I remember like you ranted on it. What was your rating for it? Then?
I think I gave it a 3. I think it was either a 2 or a 3, something like that.
It's a buggy
Uh,
mess.
It's terrible. It makes no sense. It's too short. It's awful. I mean, they should have had the Guerrera voice Michonne. It creates plot holes for the comics. Characters are terrible. Michonne herself isn't even that good.
Yeah, I agree, Matt. Season 2, I wasn't a fan of that season, and Season 3 was very bad. I'm talking about the Telltale Walking Dead games. Yeah, I agree. Season 2 isn't the best thing. It's not the worst or best thing. It's just kind of whatever. And yeah, Season 3, yeah, that's not a good season. But back to, like, the Walking
Uh,
Dead Michonne for a minute. It's like, the plot is garbage. There's one specific character that is just abysmal and ruins the story, which is Sam. I hate that character with a
Sam.
burning passion.
The
Um,
actors suck too.
I
I'm
let
sorry.
Sam
The
die on my
actors.
playthrough because I couldn't handle her anymore. I just let her die.
Oh, yeah. Just stay with your daughters. Like, stay with your daughters. You're gonna find one of them alive later anyway.
Exactly. That's what I did. I'm just like, nah, you know what, Sam? You literally made me not want to play this, so yeah, you can die. Bye-bye.
Yeah, yeah. Like, just burn. Like, you suck. You suck ass. None of the man.
The main
Only
villain,
good characters
too.
were
Ugh.
Norma.
Oh, man. Terrible villain.
Only good characters, Alex and James. The only good characters. They were
Yeah,
the only characters that
Sam
didn't.
literally... Go ahead.
No, no, it's fine. It's fine. Go ahead. I was cutting you off.
Okay. Sam literally led Randall's group to her family home and got people killed. You see, Sam is a dumbass.
Yeah.
Agreed.
She got her father killed. She nearly got like her basically like mother figure Paige killed, and she nearly got her two brothers. One of them being like 6 years old. One of them being 6 years old. Like, bitch. And you got your brother killed. You got your other brother killed. Like, Sam is is probably the worst character of one of the worst characters of the franchise, in my opinion. Not just
Yeah.
the Telltale games.
She's bad.
She gives Iris a run for her money.
At least Iris doesn't frickin' lead hordes of enemies back to where they live.
Yeah, and at least Iris, I guess in a way. At least Iris, you could just make fun of the character.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah. Alright,
Yeah, this is
guys.
all-
I'm gonna end up. Yeah, I'm gonna have to cut the stream here, guys. I gotta go to bed in 5 minutes. Thank y'all for
all
coming
good.
and discussing Fear 609 with me. I'm glad y'all enjoyed the episode. I thought it was a great return for Fear. And yeah, guys, stay tuned for next Sunday where we will be discussing Fear 610, and we'll be going over if it's good, bad, or just mediocre, or whatever we think about it. So yeah, Epic, thank you for being in the chat, bro. Chosen, you just joined. Sorry, bro. I gotta go to bed.
Yeah.
I got a doctor's appointment in the
Yeah,
morning.
we're ending it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, I appreciate y'all for being here. Cade, Dan, and Rowdy for joining me on the voice call and all that. Yeah.
No problem.
Have a good night, and I'll see you guys next Sunday for 610.